We're getting ready to start the city council meeting. I'd like everyone to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll remain standing for the invocation brought this evening by Councilman Thompson, and then we'll move right into our first order of business. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's bow as we pray. Father, we come before you tonight, and we do thank you for your blessings, and we ask that you be with us tonight and bless this meeting. Father, again, we thank you for the opportunity and privilege to serve. We thank you for a country that we have the freedom to govern ourselves. We thank you for the veterans that paid for that freedom. And Father, we pray that you'll be with the families of those who have lost loved ones defending that freedom. Father, I pray a special prayer tonight for Officer Tom Haas, who is nearing his retirement days, the time of retirement. We thank you so much for his loyalty, his commitment, his service to this city and to the citizens of this city. We ask that you continue to bless him. We ask that you continue to bless him into the next phase of his life. Be with him. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you. And I'd like to start off this next part, which is our proclamation for Veterans Day, by personally thanking all of you gentlemen for your service to our country. Attended up here by council members that have joined, as well as local community members and media people, and our local police officer that is very valuable to us. So the proclamation reads, whereas with great opportunity comes great sacrifice, and for each of us, our opportunities and freedoms were born by the sacrifices of our nation's veterans. And whereas many of these brave individuals leave the security of loved ones and their homes to travel to the farthest corners of the world to defend our way of life. And whereas they serve with valor to ensure that America, our allies, and our liberty remain safe from the grasp of tyrants and oppressors. And whereas today we honor all our veterans and pay special respect to those who made the ultimate sacrifice in the service of our country. And whereas veterans fortified our nation through their deeds in the armed forces, and whereas their lives and their bravery continue to inspire others to action. Therefore, I, Jeff Harrington, Mayor of the City of Bonner Springs, do hereby proclaim November 12, 2018 as Veterans Day. May this Veterans Day be reflective, gratitude-filled time as we remember those who made sacrifices to protect a promise of the American dream. And may we also remember and pray for the brave troops who currently serve our nation. Congratulations. Well, we certainly appreciate.
Let me give you my camera. Our record keeping.
Very good. Well, thank you guys for all you've done and all you do in our community. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good job, Bob.
Lots of extra time. Yeah. Hey, this one was guys. I'm like, I'm gonna be late. Joey, we gotta get into council. I'm like, yeah. You're over in Casey King.
Yeah, she just put it out.
That poor goofball doesn't know what I'm gonna be late means.
Oh, we got them all, huh?
This means I need to leave water.
Yes, I'm sorry.
You have all the colors in your shirt. Moving right along to the second item on our agenda this evening, which are citizens' concerns about items not on tonight's agenda. This is an opportunity to address the City Council in the open public meeting. Immediate action will be taken on those issues, and no immediate action will be taken on those issues in the interest of fair and transparent city government, and all issues will be investigated and addressed as necessary with the consensus of the City Council when placed on a future city agenda. Is there anyone like to stand and address the City Council? Seeing none, move right along to our consent agenda. The consent agenda this evening includes minutes of the October 8th, 2018 City Council meeting, claims for city operation, Public Housing Authority claims, appointments to boards and commissions, approving Monday, December 24th, 2018 as an additional city holiday, and public use request for Victory Assembly Trunk or Treat. I would entertain a motion concerning the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda as written.
Second.
Is there anything to be pulled by the city staff, citizens? Questions, concerns, clarifications? Seeing none, vote please.
Bertrand. Jamie.
Yes.
Mackey.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Stevens.
Yes.
Reeves.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Very good. Congratulations. Your part just rolled through. So have a nice, safe Halloween. Thank you for what you do in this neighborhood. It's just across the block. Moving on to a regular meeting agenda, item number 1, construction inspection services for the Riverview Culvert Project.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, Rick Siler, Public Works Director. This item pertains to additional fees for construction inspection for the Riverview Culvert Project. We originally had a contract with ACM, Anthony Construction Management, in the amount of $40,000 that covered 67 days of a contract that had a substantial completion date of 60 days on it. We added 5 days during the project to do some driveway work. Our contracts actually have two dates as far as extensions. One was the substantial completion date, which was 60 days, and then 75 days in the contract, which would be basically contract closeout. We ended up spending some additional time on that project up to the 75 days, plus the 5 days that we added for the driveways, which totaled 80 days. So that added 13 days on inspection, and that's what this fee is for, are those 13 days. And the additional 5 days were actually charged to the contractor because we actually went 85 days. And we'll cover that in a separate memo here on the closeout for the project. So basically what we're looking at is 18 days at a rate of $597.45 a day. That equals $10,754.10. We're recommending approval of that agreement. Means to say the work is done, so we're coming to you with this after the project.
Very good. Anything to add, citizens? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the additional expenses of $10,754.10 to Anthony Construction Management for construction inspection services rendered.
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll start down here. Questions, concerns, comments?
There.
I appreciated that somebody was pleased the creek stayed within its banks and that, you know.
Yes, sir.
Anything else? I noticed that I don't know if it's in this discussion, but the late fee or the liquidated damages fee is $500 per day per contract, and the cost for the additional days are $597.
We were under on that estimate.
Yeah.
We've increased our LDs to $800 now.
Thank you very much. No other questions, concerns, comments? Vote please.
Kip.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Reeves.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Stevens.
Yes.
Shannon.
Yes.
Mackey.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Very good. On to the next one, which is also the Riverview Stormwater Culvert Replacement Project.
I have that one too, Mr. Mayor. I'm excited for the Works Director. This is finally the closeout for Riverview Stormwater Culvert Replacement Project. The project was done some time ago. The prior memo said actually it was substantially completed back in March. We had some issues, engineering did too, with the grading. They redid some grading on that project. There was also some debates about some additional fees, which are covered in this memo. The change order totals $3,004, pertains to 4 what we call were change directives. The driveway we knew about, those were $5,304. We did delete the pavement marking from the contract. It wasn't needed, we decided. And the liquidated damages is work change directive number 4, and that was the $2,500. Work change directive number 3 was actually a negotiated settlement that we did with the contractor on some of the grading, some rock that was added due to the original design plans. There was some different perceptions there as far as what was needed by the contractor versus what was required by the contract itself. We also ended up reseeding, which is explained in the memo. So that $4,200 is part of that change order. Total change order amount is $3,004. And the final payment to WCI is $36,208.43. We're recommending final payment and to accept the project at a total cost of $591,092.50. We did make a note on there regarding Ms. Murphy's comment that she was very happy to see the creek stay within its bank during that heavy rain, and we're also $50,000 on the budget.
Wow.
So glad to answer any questions.
That summed it up nicely. Didn't overflow and we're under budget, you know?
Is that after this
Better than that.
this weekend of torrential rain?
Yeah.
We had 2 weeks ago. Yeah, the 12 inches. She
Yeah.
had it at 5, but we had it at 12, so depending on which rain gauge you were looking at. But a lot of rain. But we've got pictures of the creek. It did what we engineered and constructed it to do. So.
That was as good a test as we could have, I think, for the near future, so.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you very much. Anything else to add from the citizens? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the final change order in the amount of $3,004 for additional work with WCI Incorporated. Approve final payment to WIC Inc. in the amount of $36,208.43 and accept the project at a total cost of $591,092.50.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions, concerns, comments? We'll start down here, sir.
Yes, sir. I was just going to ask, it did definitely get all reseeded then?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know the SK Design mentioned it had been, but it looked like yours
We did. Our staff inspected that last week. We'll keep an eye on it through next spring. They were supposed to seed it a little bit earlier, but there was some delay on them doing that as we went through these negotiations.
So hopefully we got it down before the heavy rains.
Nothing else? Vote, please.
Wood,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
Stevens,
Yes.
Pip,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Reeves.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Very good. On to agenda item number 3, street pavement marking. Staff.
I've got this one, Mr. Mayor. Matt Dietz, Street Superintendent. This project here has been a little bit tricky. We bid this one out first time and received no bids, which I was pretty shocked to see that. We sent it out to what we call a plan house that is between like here and St. Louis, so it goes out to a lot of different contractors. Well, apparently none of them wanted to bid on it. So we looked at the bid packet again, did some little minor changes to it and sent it back out. And this time we sent it personally to 4 of our local people, and we got 1 bid. And again, it came in over what we had estimated what it was going to cost. So we met with the gentleman from Twin Traffic, who was the only guy that bid on it, and we've actually come up with a solution, partly with some of our public works, street department staff taking care of some of the work, and then the trickier stuff letting them do. A lot of the problem with it, why it came over budget, was we were including stop bars and piano key crosswalks. Well, that's all done by hand, where compared to where they have their little truck that drives down the road and puts little paint marker lines down the middle and keeps them nice and straight. So this was way more labor intensive if they were doing it by hand. So we're going to tackle that ourselves because we've done that for years. So tonight we're asking you guys to approve Twin Traffic for $118,893 for the pavement markings. Some of this will be done this year in like the new overlaid West Morris that has the temporary marks in there, because those will be gone as soon as we put a plow down. And others will wait until spring, because that will keep it that way, and in the spring, everything will look nice and fresh. If we put them all down now, through the winter, it'll be dull, and then just to make it look a little better.
Cool, good idea.
So they'll paint over the lines that are there in most cases, like on Nettleton next spring?
Some of them, they'll have to actually remove them.
Okay.
But then that was part of why the bid, another part of the reason why the bid was a little bit higher than what we anticipated. We originally estimated it as putting new paint mark down, not removing and putting paint mark down.
Very
We
good.
haven't did a lot of these projects. In the past, we've done a lot of the touch-up stuff in-house, so this is one of the first ones we've done. It was a question that we didn't get cleared up before we did it, so.
Very good, thank you. Anything else from the citizens? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to award bid to Twin Traffic Marking Corporation in the amount of, was it 18,000 or 119?
118.
Okay, $118,893.50 for pavement marking.
Second.
Moved and seconded. We'll start down here since it came from any. Anything? Yes?
I've had a couple people ask questions on this. I couldn't give a good answer, and I'm not complaining about it. I just need just a little bit of information. You've explained part of it by the labor intensive, but just out of curiosity, I know that paint's reflective and it's very expensive. You have any idea how much it costs and how far it goes per 5-gallon bucket or whatever, you know?
Not off the top of my head, I do not.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, some you have epoxy paint that we'll put down that'll last a lot longer. What we put down is more of a water-based paint. Theoretically, it only lasts maybe a year. The epoxy paint will go down, it'll last a lot longer. Then there's thermoplastic, which is another product that goes down, and it'll last. No, that's what Nettleton currently has on it. That's why it's lasted since like 2003. Wow. It's a much longer process, but it's a lot more expensive. I believe it's like $4 a linear foot, maybe. Don't quote me on that, but somewhere around there.
But we get a good mileage out of it.
And then you,
Yeah.
then you,
Then there's glass beads, like in the paint, epoxy or a water-based paint, there's glass beads that they put in the paint as soon as it's applied. That's what's given it the reflectivity, and that's why we want to put it down in the spring compared to doing it now. Because the winter would take all the glass beads out and wouldn't be as nearly as reflective at night as it would be.
One thing I'll interject too, we need the new streets are getting epoxy paint. I mean, the epoxy will give us 7 to 8 years of life. The water-based paints we're out there every year painting.
That's when they're going to indent it and then put in the epoxy, right?
Well, they have to, if a new street, they would typically have to remove it, and that's the indent you're talking about. So if there's markings on the street, they remove that with a grinder.
Yeah.
And they need to do that with epoxy.
Yeah.
What the mayor was asking, on a typical paint over job, you don't need to do that if you're just painting over existing lines. But that's just water-based paint that's, once again, is going to last a year.
Of course.
If you're lucky.
Cool.
very good.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Other questions, concerns, comments? Seeing none, vote please.
Thompson?
Yes.
Kip?
Yes.
Stevens?
Yes.
Shannon?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Reeves?
Yes.
Mackey?
Yes.
Motion passes.
On to number 4, street preservation reclamite treatment. Staff?
Once again, Matt Beats, Street Superintendent. This is the final payment to ProSeal, the contract we use to do the reclamite. That's the product they spray down on it. It rejuvenates and prevents the sun from basically drying out the asphalt over some time. It lasts about 5 years. We'll run some tests on it. And then this is a product that we're adding to the streets usually about the year. The plan is the year after it's been overlaid. So streets that were overlaid this year, next year we'll be reclamining them, and that'll help keep those streets fresh and lasting a lot longer instead of just letting them sit out there and dry out and crack it up. So cool. ProSeal's finished the product or finished the work, and we're recommending final payment and acceptance.
Very good, thank you. Any questions, concerns from the audience? Seeing none, vote please, entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve final payment to ProSeal Incorporated in the amount of $4,965.54 and accept the project as complete.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions, concerns, comments? We'll start down here. None? So-
Nothing additional?
This is the suntan lotion on Nettleton. Vote, please.
Kip,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
Mackey,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Stevens,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Reeves.
Yes.
Motion passes.
On to number 5, street restoration chip seal. Staff.
Matt Beats, Street Superintendent. This is not the suntan lotion. This is the other product we use for the restoration of the street. This is the chip seal. This is usually used on roads that are a little bit older than the freshly asphalted streets that we use road seal on. So this provides that small little granite rock that goes on top. Right now, when you drive down at night, you'll see a little flicker on them. That's that granite that's cut in. You know, tell me that we get paid. They pay more for that little glitter. Anyways, this Harbor Construction did finish the work. Everything is satisfactory. They swept the streets a couple times, and we'll continue to monitor them. If we need to sweep again, they'll more than happy to come back out and do it again.
Good. Anything additional from the citizens? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve final payment to Harbor Construction in the amount of $9,320.85 and accept the project as complete. Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions, concerns, comments? We'll start down here. Sir? We want smooth roads. This, I think, is the first year I've been complimented on our chip seal program. I had compliments from people how clean it was compared to the chip and seal in the past.
Yes.
So, very nice. Vote, please.
Kip,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Stevens,
Yes.
Reeves,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Mackey.
Yes.
Motion passes.
On to number 6 this evening of our regular agenda, which is well pumps, number 6, pump and motor rehabilitation. Staff?
Back to Rick Seiler, Public Works Director. So this pertains to the purchase of a new pump and motor rehab for well number 6. We mentioned in the memo that this well went into service in 2015. We were actually planning on doing normal cleaning and treatment on that well next year. Unfortunately, it didn't make it. The pump basically came apart at the seams due to some corrosion in downhole. We did check that well for any exterior electrical grounding issues. We didn't find anything. Unfortunately, when that pump was set originally, we did not do an epoxy coating on it, which we normally do. That might have been an oversight, but the new pump that's getting bought will have epoxy coating. Typically, you do that protects the pumps a little bit longer in our environment. The lowest cost we've got on that pump is from Maine Western, top there, Maine Christian, who we work with a lot. The pump cost is $22,183. And the motor refurbished, the motor's actually fine, but they're just going through it, making it, cleaning it, and that's $2,250. The total cost is $24,000. I did give you some numbers there as far as the total well cost and what that works out to, and the cost of water, which is about as much water as we pumped with that pump over the last 3 years. It's about 8 cents per thousand. It kind of gives you an idea of what, our well costs are very expensive. When you look at the numbers, they seem very high. Reality, the cost of water, as you can see, 8 cents per thousand. As I tell everybody, the water's free. Costs money is getting it out of the ground. We recommend that to approve that purchase for $24,433.09 Lane Christensen.
Good. Any additional from the citizens? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I approve, like to have approved purchase of new pump and motor rehabilitation for well 6 in the amount of $24,433.09.
Second.
Moved and seconded. No questions, concerns, comments? We'll start down here.
Just a comment on the cost of it, because I hear way too much about the cost of water, and I just want to go on record and say, I think we have good rates here for our water compared to lots of other places around, so I think we're doing a good job.
That's right, possible.
That's it.
When that pump was put in 2015, that was brand new at that time.
Yes, sir.
Are we pretty confident that's probably the lack of epoxy is probably what led to its corrosion? I just hate to see us put this one in, and here we are in 2021.
We normally have
2022.
epoxy in our pumps. We actually checked the specs on that original work, and I was amazed we didn't have epoxy, to be honest.
But so I mean, you have confidence that would have stopped the corrosion?
It will help. I mean, these pumps and mechanical, it's a downhole operation, 80 feet underground in a bad environment, but the epoxy coating certainly protects that steel.
Okay, it was just the fact you got 3 years out of that, and that really concerned, you know.
Me too. We did not expect that pump to fail in 3 years, which is why we looked at it, and we really felt that the epoxy coating probably would have extended that life a little bit.
What type of life you think you'll get out of them?
You know, typically our wells, you know, our pumps are normally lasting 5 to 7 years. I mean, normally we, you know, as far as mechanical equipment, the well itself is, when we drill a well, we expect to get 50 years out of it, but it's not uncommon for us to replace pumps. We're moving to what we call vertical turbines, to get a little technical, but some of our wells have motors in the well. So 80 feet down, there's a motor connected to a pump, and that's called a submersible. We've had more problems with those configurations than we actually do with what well number 6 is, where the motor's actually above ground in a building. So we've got 3 wells that are actually configured like that, and 2 wells are submersibles right now. We're trying to convert all the wells because we've had a lot of motor issues.
Anything else? Pam?
How did we discover that there was a problem?
They quit pumping.
Oh, it just quit pumping. Okay, water coming out. But no.
Technical answer.
Yeah.
Very
Hey, for me, I understood that.
Chris, what he didn't tell you, it took 4 days to figure it out.
All right.
Sir?
These radios that the money's coming out from, will we be able to budget those for next year? That may be more of a question for Sean, but will that be, we can get those budgeted for next year? I know those are the ones for the city, isn't it, those radios?
Yeah, the intent is to try to go to radios throughout Public Works as well as our park staff. The reality is it's costing an obscene amount of money to have everybody on cell phones, as well as the concern about the ability to respond in emergency types of situations and then the overall communication with other individuals beyond those that are within the city. So it would be the intent to try to get that up and going. There's some complications with frequencies and making sure that we all have dedicated lines, but the city has a dedicated line through emergency management. That's the radio group, I'll call them for all practical purposes, and that's out of the unified government. So yeah, the intent will still be to make that transition in the future.
Good. Because I'm for both of them, but we got to make decisions, and so, okay, thank you. Just curious.
Sir?
I'm good, thank you.
Sir? Anything else? Vote, please.
Stevens?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Stuckey?
Yes.
Kip?
Yes.
Reeves?
Yes.
Shannon?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Very good. 100% on 100%. We'll move on to reports. The first, the city manager's report.
Just quickly, I did note Veterans Day, the city offices will be closed, which is November 13th. That will also kick back our scheduled city council meeting, typically scheduled for the second Monday. So that'll actually be held on November 13th, which is the following Tuesday. I also want to note, it was also in my city manager report, but I know this has been a concern for folks is the access to health care within the city of Bonner Springs. So I just wanted to let you all know in the community know that we'll be serving on a community advisory board for Providence Medical Center. I was asked by the CEO to do that, and I will meet every so often, every couple of months. So if anybody has any questions, concerns, both the governing body or the community, please reach out to me. And then also just want to point out, and I don't necessarily know the best way to say this, but maybe just thanks to the Bonner Springs Police Department. If you've been able to go out and interact on social media, or if you're just curious and maybe down and want to have a good laugh, go to the Bonner Springs Police Department Facebook page. There was recently just a post over the weekend that because of those tactics that they've been using to try to engage with the public, that we actually reached about 250,000 people for one single post in a matter of, I think it was 3 days.
Wow.
So that's not, that's an amazing number, but again, if you go through the way that they're choosing to interact and to really bring a personal sort of humanist perspective to policing, I think is something to be emulated, and you're starting to see that within other jurisdictions, not only within Kansas City Metro, but nationwide. So just wanted to say kudos to those folks and the individual or individuals that happen to run the Facebook account for the police department. That concludes my report.
Very good. We'll go right on into city council items, and we'll start this week down here with Councilman Shannon. Yeah, sir?
I wanted to add a nod to the police department as well. I remember our meeting that we had, I was complaining about some stuff on Shidley, and one of the renters was throwing a vent that I had. She was jokingly making a complaint that the cops were taking up the street because they were busting a drug house over that they found near one of my rentals. And another thing that they did is I had another lady report to me that she was elated and loves the police department, and that they saved her backside and they got her drunk SOB boyfriend out of the house, and she was very, very thankful for them. And it's like, I know that the talking about Back in the Blue and everything, and it's like we really don't give them credit that they have to do the crappy stuff. I mean, I know because I've been part of their calls. And it was really cool. She was crying and gave me a hug and everything, and it was really cool to see that our guys are doing, or men and women in our police department are doing that and helping clean the city up. That's fine.
I could not believe the amount of different things that the police end up doing, like information only, 27 calls. What do people just call and need to know something?
They call, they get stuff, that's how I call the police for
I've got about 3 of those.
Okay.
He stubbed his toe several times.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's just fascinating, the things that you have to deal with, you know. Fascinating in a unhappy way, not, you know, not, yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are these statistics up to date, 21 traffic stops, is that accurate, or last time they were kind of offish?
When I cleared it up with the chief, sir, he said that that's something that's the traffic stops that actually ended up in something else. Because there's hundreds and hundreds of traffic
That's what I thought, is like 21 seems, you know, way low. That's the only one that leaps off the page.
Hundreds of traffic stops. But those are the ones that led into like the meth bust or the DUI or something like that.
Okay. I did forward on the methamphetamine post because that was actually hilarious, and I'm so glad that it was funny and produced results. So thank you guys for all you're doing out there. Appreciate it.
I didn't see that.
I just want to say thank you to Sergeant Haas. This is our last meeting. We'll have him here in 10 minutes. And I've known Sergeant Haas for quite a few years, and he has always done a very good job of representing the Bonner Springs Police Department. So appreciate all the years of your service.
Yeah, I was looking at these statistics, 225 warrant arrests, and you know, it's good that we're finding these people on doing this. And thank you again for your service. And I thought about the post about the drugs that were found and so forth, you know. Posting things like that and the word gets out and other people look at it, then we've got that many people looking back again at some time. So I think that's good that they did that, and it was humorous and draws people in. Thank you.
Nothing else? Move to the mayor's report. I also would like to thank you, Sergeant, for all that you've done, and hopefully, I don't know what your future plans are, a beach someplace, or... Wonderful. Staying in our community, that's what I was hoping for, so, yes. Well, great. It seems like that's the case. A lot of people who live and work around Bonner Springs often like to stay here. And so that's wonderful, too. Over the last few weeks, I've had an opportunity to meet with both Mayor Alvey and Mayor McTaggart at a breakfast meeting. No specific conclusions were drawn. We're just continue to work on inclusion and communication across our communities. Then I also had an opportunity to go to the Midwest Public Risk Conference in Branson early last week. That's being also having an insurance agency myself and having some knowledge of life and health. The things that they're doing at that conference in trying to minimize risk across all municipalities is ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and you see it in a lot of different regards. So we had city staff that went and took advantage of that, human resources and Amber community development. So Midwest Public Risk has been an ally of ours and helped us out in a lot of different situations, and that's certainly valuable. There are a few changes going on with the way workman's comp is going to be done, but those are things that will continue to be looked at. The farmers market this week is the last week for the farmers market until next year. So come stock up on all your vegetables. If I have it, you can get all that you need for the rest of the year until it opens back up this Saturday. So it'll be a big bag, but you can take that all home. I'd like to thank Travis and the farmers market. They've done a great job again this year. It seems like it's continuing to grow, and it's really getting more and more widely known. So thank you very much. Travis and all the helpers for the
I
farmers
just carry
market.
stuff,
Yeah.
he thinks.
Yep. I like the way the little storage area has come about. That's been well received. And so I think this is a good opportunity to compliment you all on the farmers market. So please keep it up. Also, the last weekend, there were a lot of things going on in Bonner. Bonner downtown was just busting at the seams. It was great to see so many people. One difficulty was finding parking places, as well as on Thursday night when there was the shops in Bonner had their activities going on. So it was a lot of things have been going on in Bonner Springs, as well as to support Back the Back the Blue run out at the zip line area, and the different events with Halloween coming up. Please, everyone, be careful. Watch out for kids in the neighborhoods. I know my neighborhood will probably see 600 to 800 people going door to door and begging candy or trick-or-treating. So watch out for them. Unless anyone has any questions for me, seeing none, we're adjourned.